Okie dokie. Hello, sexy girls and sexy boys of internet world. I'm here to talk about the Sirian aliens. Oh, that's good. I'm here to talk about the Sirian aliens because I found these notes that I made from this book about Sirians that I read back in 1998. When I was in Australia, I bought this book about the Sirian aliens written by this Australian woman. Okay, so the woman's name, the book is called Transmissions from Sirius by Wendy Munro, Journey into the New Millennium. Okay, now, first I'll give some background information just on what I know about Sirius. It's a big star. It's the brightest star in the sky. It's a blue star. It's a giant star. And it's not so far away from us. I think it's like the 6th or the 8th or something closest star to us. 36 light years or something like this. And it's the one that the Dogon tribe, they've been talking to the Dogon tribe back 700 years ago. You know, Dogon tribe, south side of the Sahara Desert near Timbuktu. These, primitive tribe have this story about the Sirius star and that it has a brown dwarf that revolves around it every 50 years. And they came in there and they drew the diagram of how it goes every 50 years. And they knew that, and we didn't even discover that brown dwarf up until like a few years ago, like 30 years ago or something. So, maybe they gave him like messages or whatever. I don't know exactly what they said. I never read anything about it. Bashar says that Sirius, all the aliens say that Sirius is the planet of water, or at least because they have the brown dwarf, and maybe there's like a planet that goes around the brown dwarf. But anyways, I think it's on a higher dimension. The beings who live there live in a situation that's very similar to the way that whales and dolphins live. Maybe they get to like float around or something. So I think they may like reincarnate into bodies of dolphins and whales and reincarnate back there or something. Maybe humans and dolphins and whales reincarnate back and forth. But anyways, Alex Collier says that they're embroiled in a civil war right now, for whatever that's worth. So anyways, these are the notes that I, oh, god damn it, I forgot to turn my fucking thing on. Hold on. I gotta time myself. Let's see how many minutes we're in. We're 3 minutes and 7 seconds in. Okay, hit it. Boom, there. Okay. So, let's get going on the notes that I took from this book. Okay. So, the Sirians are Isis and Ishtar and Isis. Ishtar is one of the gods of the Mesopotamia. So maybe they were our keepers, the people who came here and taught us how to farm or whatever. Back there when we first started getting the civilization going again, 3600 BC. Isis is a Egyptian goddess. Now, the Law of One says that it was the Venusians who made the pyramids and stuff, so maybe it was the Syrians and the Venusians who went over there and were helping the Egyptians. Now it says, we have lived in many planets, some ended, some have, some evolved. Well, Marduk, that one ended. And some evolved, so maybe some of us who live here have lived on Venus, because Venus evolved into the next dimension. She says, we are moving into the 4th dimension where time changes and physical barriers break down, and where we can see spirits and past lives and karma. That's exactly what other aliens and, psychics and stuff, people are saying. Of course you may say, oh, but they're all just copying each other. But, we're moving from the 3rd to the 4th dimension now. where pretty soon we're going to be able to see spirits. I mean, maybe with our minds or maybe with our eyes. Physical barriers break down. What I think about that is we're going to be able to live longer, basically, and not get sick. See past lives. Yeah, and we will have visions of our past lives. And karma. We'll be able to see like auras, tell if somebody's lying to you or whatever. And maybe, be able to just like judge karma. That's another video though. I'll talk about that. Anyways, it says in the fifth dimension, time stops. Vision equals reality. Dreams are fifth dimension, but you need to release first. Okay, so time stops. There is no time in the fifth dimension because vision is reality. Whenever you think of doing something, boom, there it is. It's the land of the dream, when you're dreaming, 1 second you're having one dream and then the next second you're in another dream because you just thought of having another dream. Well, I guess that's what it's like living in the fifth dimension. Spirits, people who live in the fifth dimension. Oof. Boy, do they have it nice. Boy, do they have it well. My Lord. Now, I think Bashar says that they're actually moving into the fifth dimension at this time. We're going into the fourth and those guys are going into the fifth. But you need to release first. Well, I guess you need to release, negative karma and forgive yourself and everybody else. Okay, she says, the pineal gland is a third eye. Well, we know that. It's what translates our soul, our higher self, our mind, it's what it translates who we are into this world so that we can process this world and focus, our ego into this world. But that's, that's our vision. That's where our real motivations and our desires and our reality comes from, our pineal gland. Pituitary gland. Something important about the pituitary gland. I did not write the note about that. Okay, so she said a vortex closed 90,000 years ago and it shrank and fear was introduced. Okay. So I guess 90,000 years ago is when the fall happened, when sin was introduced, however you want to look at it, when the problems started, because a vortex was closed. Maybe what she means is the earth went into quarantine 90,000 years ago, and we're getting out of quarantine in 2012. So it's been in quarantine for 90,000 years. To put it in perspective, the human race was invented 250,000 years ago. Scientifically, the Homo sapien is supposed to be 200,000 years old. Out of Africa happened for women is studying mitochondria, DNA 160,000 years ago, and for men 60,000 years ago. So it's about when out of Africa and about when Homo sapiens and Neanderthals were kind of starting to intermingle with each other. Okay, so we should meditate on our chakras. Meditate on the various different energy centers of our body, I guess, to put them in line and to charge them up and everything. We should drink a lot of water. I think I specifically remember what she said about that. Water is, our bodies our cells in our bodies are all filled with fluid, and water is a conductor of electricity. So the more water you have in your body, the easier it is for the electricity to pass through your body, and your chakras and all the higher dimensional energy will also be able to pass through, through all the electrons and everything, ionized. You're going to be able to have more energy and, clear out all negative karma and fill up with all the good life forces of the universe. And for me, I like drinking nice and warm water. Okay. Cellular changes started in 1994, and it will take 20 to 30 to 100 years to complete. Get to the next page here. Yeah. So the cellular changes started in 94. The mutation from, from the carbon-based human to the silicone-based human started in 1994. And it'll take 20 or 30 years to complete. So by 2014 to 2024, most likely the big changes will be done. And then after 2094, it'll be complete. And we're going to be living in the fourth dimension and being silicone-based and living for 300 years. So that is wonderful. Okay. All organs vibrate differently. Yeah, aliens seem to be really stress this a lot. I've read this one all over the place. All of your organs vibrate differently. They all represent different archetypes of different energies, and they're not just organs, they're energy centers. The body is perfect vehicle vision of God. I think the aliens also like to stress this one to go against with the confusion of what people think says the Christians think the Bible says is that the body is separate from God and an ugly thing, and so that you shouldn't do anything that's physical, shouldn't have sex or whatever like this, masturbate, or, the body is like bad, blah. It was written, in James that he says that, and a few different places. And the body is the perfect vehicle. The body is the vision of God. It's what we use to live out this existence down here, to figure out how to manipulate matter on the most basic levels. 250,000 years ago, our bodies changing by trial and error. Well, I think that means that 250,000 years ago, our bodies were created. That's what all the other aliens say. Humans were created by the Anunnaki after we lost Mars, because we lost our atmosphere. Bodies changing by trial and error. So we just experiment with new different kinds of bodies, and then, changes, and then you get a new kind of body. And Seth talks about a lot of different kinds of physical bodies. There was a certain kind of human who lived here who was afraid of violence and was trying to be peaceful, and they didn't do so well. They went extinct. Aboriginals have different chromosomal configuration in their brains and could teleport and taught 500 plus thousand years ago. So Aborigines have, and I think Drunvalo Melchizedek said that, the Aborigines have like 42 chromosomes and we have 43. And they could teleport from one part of the country to the next. And they could teach each other how to do this, and they've been doing that for more than 50,000 years. I think, modern science says that they've been there for about 40,000, so I guess take what modern science says and then add like 10 or 20% to it, which makes sense, because maybe there's bones that they just haven't found, the older ones. 90,000 years ago, a vortex closed and their brains inactivated. So when the vortex closed, that's when our brains were inactivated. That's when the evil forces decided they were going to, hold on, 12, 11, 30, shit, I might have to do another video. That's when the evil forces decided that they were going to make us stupid and full of fear so that we weren't going to ascend. I don't know. That's just what other aliens say. Crop circles are signs of different aliens and angels. We're the angels of so-and-so, and this is our insignia. We are the aliens of here, and this is our insignia. This kind of ties into what I was talking about, art. Art is something that's beautiful, but it's also something that should be something that actually means something. So a lot of those crop circles are actual depictions of their solar system. You can see the different rings around rings, and each ring and little dot in there is a planet, and maybe there's like an X around the third ring out and signifying, well, that's our planet in that solar system, and so and so. Jesus' blood changed the earth. Well, that's actually what Anna Hayes says, Ashayana Dean, that Jesus came here to teach stuff, and get rid of confusions, but also to upgrade us genetically. And actually the Urantia book says that. Okay, I'm going to have to move to another part 2.